Suppression, oppression, and I were once a group of best friends. Suppression, oppression, and I were once a group of best friends, oh yes. I mean, when people are moved into the same space, forced to eat at the same table, and made to share the same bed, the inevitability is that a friendship is bound to happen. Happened for so long, we were never apart from the part of each other's lives, which was the suffering we endured together. I spent my days running from a tiny box they tried to fit me into. Trapped into a system systematically set in place to lower my status, but forget that because now I break the status quo. Heck, I wreck it, I shatter it into a million itty bits and pieces. My whole life's been a race. So sprint is all I embrace, because all I want to do is finally grip freedom in my palms as I keep my hands tightly clenched. So when that hunger is finally quenched, when I taste that sweetness, my goodness, I do not let go. They diminished my power. I spoke my knowledge and ideas. They dared ignore my intellect because apparently I did not meet the preferable prerequisite, that which was a penis. So now you know I am woman. When my melanin sun-kissed skin was deemed too dark, it wasn't enough when they robbed my continent, yet still had the audacity to deem it poor. Took my gold and my copper to build their bridges and empires, yet still look down on my land. You know I am African. When my country gains independence from the shackles and chains of colonialism in 1964, and I dance in celebration with my Bemba tribe, you know I am Zambian. I was born in 1920. From my mother's womb, I burst. A child of greatness was birthed. See, my mother told me there was something unique about me. Told me I lit a dark room so bright that its walls were blinded by my soul, that my giggle could make a room filled with people in mourning smile and remind them that we must celebrate life. My religion surrounded me with a multitude of women who taught me to be confident in my beliefs, speak the truth from my soul, and let my spirit lead. Indeed, I am a product of a community that taught me that woman is not written in Braille because you do not need to touch her to know her. You will know woman by her actions, by the fruits of her work. So raised by great women, I had no choice but to recognize that I too would one day become a great queen. I too would lead, one day bleed for my people. I grew up seeing my people in unity and love, taught me that great things can only be achieved when we work together, showed me the tools I would one day use as I step into my purpose, trod this earth and shake it with my being, allow the power in my veins to be pumped throughout my community, because that is where my heart is, my home, my people. My whole life I've known to be a beacon of strength, but life's made it pretty evident that my plans are not always God's plans. After all, our lives are in God's hands. Sometimes we're weak and we fall. Sometimes we're fragile, but that does not mean we do not answer to God's call. So when I tell you I was meant to start great things, oh, I meant it. Meant that God gave me a task, so of course I was gonna rise, lead a movement of love, eat, sleep, and breathe in what I was called to do, divine revelation from above. In a deep slumber, I was made aware of my purpose. Came to me so crystal clear, it made clear glass look stained. When I tell you God's power precedes all human understanding, know that I testify. I was a woman on what I thought would be my deathbed, and in that weakness was when light and love was spoken upon me. For when we are weak is when God's power is the strongest. So for the longest I've known that I am a Zambian African woman purposed to spread love. So I start a church because I am nothing if not walking in the path that God has set before me. Watch this space and let me show you that there is no force equal to a woman determined to rise, win the prize not for her story, but for God's glory.